Hey, what's up? I'll get straight to it. So, when people look up plumbing companies in Google, I'm going to show you where they're most likely to click and call you, and where they're least likely to click and then call you. I want you to know where you have a greater percentage chance of getting calls versus where you don't. By the way, my name is Chris Gray. I co-own a marketing and consulting agency that helps plumbers make a lot of money. We've done pretty good doing that. And I make these videos because I want to help the guy who has 1 to 3 trucks be like the companies that we service. I want to help you grow your company. I make these videos to give you marketing information to help you do that on the front end. So I was helping one of my guys. He has 2 trucks, and he was like, "Hey, Chris, I have X amount of money to spend on marketing this year. Where should I put it?" So we were doing something called a lead pie. It shows it's like a pie chart, and it shows what percentage of money you should put towards certain lead sources. And he was asking me to do one of those for him, and intuitively, I know where that money should go as far as the most effective lead sources. But man, marketing changes. Like, it's not like, I think, with some I don't know plumbing. I don't know crap about plumbing, man. As far as act to blah blah to actually do plumbing, I don't know that. I know marketing for it. I know all the front end stuff. Don't know the back end stuff. But I would imagine that some of the basics never change. Some of the things that there's some fundamentals, period. And you have that when it comes to marketing. But marketing is obviously more, the marketing I do is technology based, and technology moves fast. I mean, it's changing. Like, as I make this video, the main thing right now is AI, and I'm having to keep up with that, and that changes daily. And so for when he offered me this money, like, man, like I was saying, these guys who have 1 to 3 trucks, they're near and dear to my heart. We work with big companies. Those are, they're it's just kind of like, we help them grow, but it's more of like maintaining at that point. You get to a certain level where we do help them grow, but unless there's a big jump, big initiative, it's just maintaining, and then it grows over time naturally. The 1 to 3 guys, that's fun to me because you can make big leaps like really fast, and that stuff is really fun to me. So when the guy with 1 to 3 trucks comes to me and he's like, "Hey, I have X amount of money." Sorry, I need a coffee break here, man. It's early. But when the guy with 1 to 3 trucks says, "Hey, I have this money," that I take that, I'm very, what's the word? I'm very cautious there because that guy doesn't have a bunch of money to blow. Like the bigger companies, they could take a $10,000, $20,000 hit in a month and survive if they run it right. Whereas a guy with 1 to 3 trucks, man, if he blows, $5,000 or $3,000, he's going to feel that. So I want to make sure that I really honor and give him the best advice possible. So instead of giving him the standard breakdown of what I thought would work, I was like, I told him, "Hey, man, I know where this money should go. Or at least I think I do. I think I know. But let me double check and make sure that nothing has changed within the last, or, 2 to 3 years with these different areas where you can get phone calls." And man, I'm glad I did, because guess what? Shit changed, and not bad. Like, if I would have gave him just my canned answer where I think it should go, he would have been fine, but it wouldn't have been a great answer. When I looked into how things have changed, now I was able to give him a great answer, and I'm going to give it to you. So if you had X amount of dollars to spend, whatever it is, 1,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, I'm going to tell you on Google where you get the biggest bang for your buck. And we're going to start with Google because if you're just starting out, obviously, you want the other stuff. You want to be able to get referrals, repeat customers who know you from a previous job, networking stuff. That's all the stuff. Like, that's the hustle stuff. If you are just starting, you need to be doing that. You need to be working referrals and previous customers from old jobs and networking. Do all the stuff that doesn't cost you. The things that don't cost you money to get the lead, do those first. But now, if you have to spend money, you need to go to Google. That's where, I don't care what anybody else tells you. People do some other funky stuff out there, man. You need to go to Google. And when you go to Google, I'm going to tell you where to put your money. So I can show you better than I can tell you. So let's do it. All right. So let me show you. Let me move my face over here. I hate the fact that I have to like look at myself. Weird. Anyways, I went to the Google machine and I typed in plumber near me. And let me tell you this is where the magic used to happen, right? So it used to be like the primary thing would be SEO. And so SEO would be like back in the day down here. This is like, for me, this is the first company that comes up. Man, these areas right here is where the money used to be made. You see Yelp and Angie's List dominates for it. Ignore this, by the way, if you can. Don't use them. That's a whole other video. I made a couple of videos like that. If you sidetrack, if it works for you, great. But most people, it doesn't. Anyways, this was where the magic used to happen. And then it would be PPC and the map pack. This is back in the day, right? So back in the day, I would have told you put your money towards SEO, which also would help right here. But after down here, people would click in here. And then it used to be like, well, let me backtrack. Back in the day, it would have been SEO, which takes time to get on. Then it would be your map pack. Then it would be PPC and Google Guaranteed, kind of in the same bucket. And this is, I don't know, 3 to 5 years ago or something. And that's how it was. Now, things have changed significantly. And so Google Guaranteed came out at least about, I would say it's about 8 years old now, 7 or 8 years old. And their whole thing is to compete with these guys. And I'm glad they do. Angie's List, Yelp, Home Advisor, they want to compete with them. And fast forward from, 8 years ago to now, they've done really good. They have bitten into Home Advisor and Angie's List's share of the pie significantly, to the point where back in the day, this is exactly where you wanted to be. It definitely doesn't hurt to be there today. But now this is what is getting most of the clicks, Google Guaranteed. So in order to get on here, you can just Google Guaranteed and sign up for their process, which is good. And you have to have a lot of reviews. And to get into this 3-pack right here, where you're one of the top 3, it's going to take time, man. They don't tell you what it takes to get there, but when you dig into it, it's pretty obvious. You have to have a lot of reviews. The reviews have to be good, and they want you to have been around for a while. I mean, look at this: 14,000 reviews at 4.9, 17 years. 4.4 reviews, 59 of them, 18 years. 4.9, 1.8K, 45 years. They won't tell you this stuff, but I'm pretty sure that they want you to have been in business for a long time, and they want you to have a lot of reviews, and they want them to be good. And just because you have been in business a long time, you don't have a ton of reviews, doesn't mean you're dead in the water. A few people will click here, not a lot, but a few will click and go through this right here and then find a company. So if you're not on this, you need to get on it. You need to start, right? I mean, you got to get started. If you didn't do it 40 years ago, when's the best time to do it? Now, right? And so you probably wouldn't have been starting 40 years ago, because if you're just starting this company, you're probably much younger than that. But point being is you need to be there. You need to be on Google Guaranteed. And here's the data. If 100 people are searching for a plumber, 10 to 15 will call here. And that's a big percentage. That used to be that 10 to 15 or 10 to 15% used to be down here in SEO. It's moved up to this. This right here is now getting the most calls. They need to be there. Where do you think the second amount of calls, the second most calls are coming from, right? When people click plumber near me, where's the second most calls coming from? Is it here, PPC? Is it the map pack? Is it SEO? Drum roll, please. The answer is map pack. So if they don't call you here, the next thing is right here. And if 100 people call you, 5 to 10 of them are going to come from the map pack. Coffee break. It is early Sunday morning here. Ugh, I can't talk. Sorry. So anyways, 5 to 10 people will call you out of 100 searches. 5 to 10 people will call from here. So number 1 is going to be the whole Google Guarantee. Number 2 is the map pack. To get here, it is SEO impacts this, SEO search engine optimization, which takes a while. It does impact this, but you can also just optimize your Google business profile so that it ranks organically. SEO helps, but you don't need SEO to have your Google business profile start to rank better. And what does it take for it to rank? There's a few factors involved, but one of the main ones is reviews. Get reviews. And you're going to hear me say, if you watch my videos over time, it's going to be like a constant principle. You need to get reviews, and ideally get reviews that use keywords like the city that you work in, the fact that you're a plumber. You want to, if you can get the client to say plumber near me, point being is you want to use like there's keywords, the things that people search for when they look for a plumber. If you can get your clients to leave those keywords and reviews, that's even better. That's a whole other video, which I think I've done one on, or I'm going to do whatever. Point being is get reviews, optimize your Google business profile so that you can rank. And then that's the place that you'll get the second most calls. Third most calls will be SEO down here. It's not as good as it used to be. SEO is great. You should still do it if you have the money because it's a long-term investment, which I like, as opposed to like having to buy stuff from PPC or Google Guaranteed. But now it's down to like, if 100 people search, 2 to 5 of them will call from down here, from clicking you down here. Yeah. And that's a big drop. This used to be the number one thing people would call, or that and the Google Map Pack. But now it's not. It's the third thing. And about, again, if 100 people call, or if 100 people search, 2 to 5 of them are going to call from SEO. And then what is the very last thing that people will call you from on Google? It's going to be pay-per-click, which is right here. And that's, if 100 people search, you're looking at like 2 to 3 people will call you from PPC. I get this data. There's a marketing website. They look at marketing in general, and they run studies across all fields. And when it came to services, home services, the data I'm giving you came from that website, reputable website. So any which way, that this is the last thing. It's 2 to 3% or 2 to 3 people out of 100. So if you're looking to split your budget up, you're like, what the hell do I do with this budget? Well, you want, if you can, a fair amount of it going to Google Guarantee. Google Guarantee, problem with Google Guarantee, when you're getting started, you're not going to get a bunch of quantity. You'll get some quality, but it won't be quantity because you're not going to really show up right here at first, because unless you've got a bajillion reviews and you've been in business for a bajillion years, you won't show up here automatically. It's going to take time. But when it works, man, it works. So just get started. But it's where most of your calls will come from, assuming that you have a lot of reviews and you've been in business for a while. If not, for most people, most of their calls are going to come here from the Map Pack. That involves SEO. If you're a small operation, you might not be able to afford that yet. So you just want to be able to optimize your Google business profile so that it starts to rank organically. A bunch of ways to do it. I'll make a different video on that. I have made videos on that. But one of the easiest things you can do is make sure you get reviews, and get reviews that ask your clients, your customers, to use words like their city and plumber. And the best one is plumber near me. Like, hey, I was looking for a plumber near me. And then all of a sudden, NCT Plumbing Repair Services came up and I called them, and whatever. But they can use keywords in their reviews, man. It's powerful. Very helpful. So you want to be here. Next is going to be SEO. This takes time and it takes money. If you got 1 to 3 trucks, you probably can't afford that just yet, but it's something that you would invest in when you get to that level. And then the last would be PPC, pay-per-click. And so ideally, really, if you're just getting started, outside of referrals, repeat customers from previous companies or whatever it is, and networking, which you do those first. You should be trying to get free leads as much as you can. Do those first. When you start paying, when you pay for it, you want to put money towards here, but you're not going to get a bunch because of the reasons I stated earlier. But put money here, but more than likely, your calls will come from pay-per-click, because that's the easiest thing. They'll come from that, and then eventually they can come from this. But here is the hack. Here's a trick. Let me show you. All right, so here's the hack or trick or whatever you want to call it. So you have your PPC right here, for example. See that this is going to be PPC where it says sponsored. And again, this is only getting like 2 to 3 clicks. But what you can do is you can run PPC ads that show up here in the sponsored section. And how specifically, that's a whole nother video. But if you have a marketing team or you're trying to do this yourself, let me know and I'll drop the video on the how-to. But point being is if you run PPC and then aim for your ads to show up right here. By the way, you can't have them show up here 100%, but you can set it up in a way that gives you a really good chance of having the ads show up here as well as other areas, but you want them right here. And when you do that, you go from 2 to 3% likelihood to click to a 5 to 10%, but you're just doing PPC. So if you're just starting out, you have to run PPC. Again, run your PPC because you're not going to have much of a choice, but run it and then try to have it drop here in the sponsored area. Now you really increase your chances of getting clicked on. Significantly increase your chances. So ideally, you want to do all 5 when you're starting to pay for media, pay for traffic. You want to be in all 5 areas, right? You want to be here in Google Local Services. You want to be in PPC. You want to be in the Map Pack. You want to be in SEO, all that stuff, right? Did I capture it all? Let's see. SEO, PPC, MatPack, Google LSA. So that is, I think that's only 4, right? So my bad. You only want to be in all 4 areas. But when you start off, you probably want land in the top 3 right here. And so in order to do that over time, the main thing with all of this, regardless of what you do, the main thing you got to do, period, is get reviews. Reviews are going to help you right here. They will help you with PPC, not as much directly, but they will. But it definitely helps you right here in the MatPack, up here in the MatPack. It's going to help you, or not the MatPack, I'm sorry, it'll help you up here with Google Guaranteed. It'll definitely help you with the MatPack as well. Then it helps with your overall SEO, which then helps your PPC. So anyways, I hope that helps. If you like it, if you appreciate this, you want to see more like this, like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. All right, see you. Bye.